Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. The new film is called Motherless Brooklyn. It wouldn't be possible without the writer, the director, the star. I presume he probably catered a couple of the meals as well. Edward Norton, congratulations. Talk a little bit about the challenges artistically directing yourself in a movie.
Directing makes acting harder, and acting makes directing harder. So and yet there's a benefit to the integration in some ways. So I would say the biggest challenge to me is the impact that being the director has on the quality of your interaction with your other actors. Because as an actors in making a movie, they try to stay focused together with all this technical work going on around them, and you try to hold that bubble of concentration. And when one of you is snapping out of that to go set the shot or fix this or that, it's tough. And that was probably my biggest anxiety, was just, will I degrade the quality of the experience between me and my cast?
For audiences, in a way, I hate to use the word throwback, but Hollywood used to have a sweet spot for these film noir type of movies. Very stylized, moody, and kind of subject matter. There was always somebody doing something very clandestine. We weren't sure who it was. There was a mystery going on. So I was wondering, can you talk a little bit about what films did you want to watch, or what temper did you kind of have going into this style-wise?
Sure, yeah. I think that it's funny you put it that way. I too think that in a way we get hungry for certain types of things that we don't get that often, and I've been hearing people say that, like, this is one of those kind of movies they don't make that much anymore, and I like that, because that's what we were going for. When we were younger, LA Confidential, LA Confidential was one of those films too. It was like you didn't know you wanted that film as much as you wanted it, and when you went into it, you were like, God, it's great to like sink into an adult version of this, not kind of a kitschy, sentimental journey, but really like the guts of what it felt like in an era like that. And that I love that film. I love Chinatown. Obviously, we were talking about how fun it can be to be in an obscure story, a story where you're lost, you don't know what's going on exactly. But the journey is so atmospheric and great that it hypnotizes you. You have the actual kind of experience of hypnosis. And I think that that in particular with its music was the music of Chinatown was very inspiring to us as we tried to create this kind of modern neo-jazz kind of vibe. And then I think, I mentioned it to you earlier, I love The Big Sleep is a great film. And I think the more unexpected thing to me is that alongside that, I've always been a huge fan of films like Forrest Gump and Rain Man and A Beautiful Mind, where you have characters who the underdog quality of the character is part of what pulls you through the journey. So you don't, looking back, necessarily remember all the history that Forrest Gump wends his way through, but you're aligned with him. You care about his struggle to navigate all of that, and he's the one that carries you through all that plot. And that was very much in my mind too, because Lionel obviously is a very strange character on initial presentation, but the density of the story, it's your relationship to him and you're rooting for him that pulls you through that. And so as much as any noir, I will say that was on my mind too.
Let's kind of break down Lionel a little bit, because obviously you had to step into the shoes of somebody with a physical challenge, and you the Tourette syndrome, and how do you play that without being patronizing at all to it? But it also kind of showcased for me of people that we think are odd and different, we don't think they can fulfill the final goal. And yet of all the characters in this, it is that person, without giving anything away, who's the one who solves,
who unravels the mystery.
Right.
And in many ways also rises into embracing a kind of heroism, or steps up into being a more activated thing, which was important to me too, because I think we all want to root for underdogs. I think that it actually, I think the reason we're drawn to those types of characters and stories is they elevate us. They remind us I don't want to be the kind of person who's against this kind of person or making life harder for them. I want to be on the side of kindness, of empathy, of celebration of someone's strange differences, and that emotional experience for an audience is, I think, a very positive one. But I think in the playing of it, you have to look at what is sweet within the strange, what's special, what is the special gift that's alongside the pain or the struggle, and I think it's the dualities of that. Michael K. Williams has the line in the film where he says, like, he's the jazz trumpet player and says to Lionel, I see you in me. I have that kind of brain where it's my gift, but it's an affliction just the same. And that I think is a nice encapsulation of what you want to try to, the totality of someone in their full humanity, where it's really painful sometimes, and you're acknowledging how painful it is, but you're also showing that it can be creative, it can be fun, it can be funny. His close friends can find it funny and be affectionate about it. That's how I think you create a complex humanity out of it.
Well, thank you for sharing your gift on this movie, Motherless Brooklyn, Edward Norton. This is Scott Orlin. Until next time.